In the chaotic hustle of modern life, we rarely find moments of true stillness. The world constantly bombards us with noise, voices, distractions, responsibilities. But what if I told you that the key to overcoming your inner restlessness, finding clarity, and achieving peace lies not in doing more, but in doing less? In fact, it lies in embracing silence. Today, I invite you to join me on a profound journey into the heart of Buddhist wisdom. In this video, we will explore a story from the Buddha's teachings that reveals the transformative power of silence, a story that, if understood deeply, has the potential to shift your life in remarkable ways. Let's delve into why silence isn't just the absence of sound. It is a sacred practice that can lead you to the deepest levels of self-awareness and inner peace. The wisdom of the Buddha, the power of words. The Buddha often warned about the immense power of words. He likened our tongue to the sharpest knife, capable of cutting through relationships, trust, and peace. Words, though intangible, can wound deeply. They can tear apart our hearts, stir up conflicts, and create suffering. But, as much as words have the power to harm, they also have the potential to heal. The Buddha's wisdom teaches us that it's not the words themselves that matter most, it's how, when, and why we speak. Words, when used wisely, can uplift, soothe, and guide others. But when spoken impulsively or out of ego, they have the power to create chaos. The Buddha's teachings encourage us to speak only when necessary, and to choose our words with deep awareness. However, there is something even more powerful than words, and that is silence. The King's Restlessness, a story of transformation. Let's take a journey back in time, to ancient India, where a king, despite having everything he could desire, wealth, fame, power, found himself trapped in a cycle of deep inner unrest. His palace, filled with luxuries, was no refuge for his restless mind. No matter how much he had, he could not escape the constant turmoil within. One day, desperate for peace, the king sought the counsel of a revered Buddhist monk, known for his profound wisdom. The king, in his usual pomp and arrogance, explained his plight. "Respected monk," he said, "I am weary of this never-ending restlessness. Despite my wealth and fame, I cannot find peace. I feel overwhelmed, as if my mind is a storm that I cannot control. Please help me find serenity." The monk, with a calm demeanor, listened carefully and then gave a simple reply: "You already have the answer within you, but you have yet to discover it. I can guide you, but the path lies within yourself. Are you willing to do something different? Something that may surprise you?" Intrigued, the king asked, "What must I do?" "I will do anything for peace," the monk replied. "For the next 15 days, you will live in my monastery, away from your palace. During this time, you will speak as little as possible. For 15 days, embrace silence. Do not engage in your usual distractions. Lie simply, and allow your mind to settle in the stillness. At first, the king found the challenge to be excruciating. His mind, so accustomed to external stimuli and constant conversations, felt empty and restless. His thoughts flooded in. Questions he couldn't answer. Distractions he couldn't shake. He desperately wanted to speak, to break the silence. But he resisted. The first few days were the hardest. The king was agitated, uncomfortable, and uncertain of what he was supposed to be learning. But as the days passed, something began to shift. He spent time observing the natural beauty around him, the soft rustling of the trees, the vibrant flowers, the singing of birds in the sky. He began to appreciate the simplicity of life. The unease he had initially felt started to dissipate. By the 10th day, the king was surprised to notice a deep sense of calm filling him. His mind, which had been in constant turmoil, now felt lighter. On the 12th day, as he sat in meditation, something extraordinary happened. He entered a state of deep peace, his mind free from the grip of worry and distraction. For the first time in his life, he was truly present in the moment, experiencing an unshakable tranquility. On the 15th day, the king approached the monk, his face glowing with newfound clarity. "Respected monk," he said, "I have discovered something profound. I understand now why I was so restless. It was not the outside world that troubled me, it was the constant noise in my own mind. I used to talk too much, waste energy on meaningless thoughts, and engage in endless conversations that only created more anxiety. But through silence, I have learned to listen to my thoughts, to my heart, to the world around me. And in this silence, I have found peace." The monk smiled gently. "You have learned the most important lesson of all. Your Majesty, silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of awareness. When we quiet the mind and cease unnecessary speech, we can hear the wisdom within. In silence, we begin to know ourselves. And through self-knowledge, we come to find true peace." The Buddha's wisdom, silence as the gateway to self-knowledge. The monk's words echoed the teachings of the Buddha. Buddha himself spent many years in silence, meditating deeply on the nature of existence. He believed that without silence, true self-discovery is impossible. Silence is not just about stopping the flow of words, it is about tuning into the deeper currents of consciousness. When we are constantly speaking, thinking, and reacting, we miss the subtle wisdom that lies beneath the surface of our thoughts. Silence allows us to connect with that deeper layer of awareness, an awareness that transcends the ego, the noise, and the distractions. Only through silence can we experience the stillness that reveals the true nature of the self. In Buddhism, silence is also a way to cultivate mindfulness. When we stop talking, we create space to observe our thoughts without attachment. We can see them as they are, impermanent, fleeting, and ultimately not a part of our true self. This is the essence of mindfulness, being present, observing without judgment, and allowing our thoughts to pass like clouds in the sky. A personal reflection, the transformative power of silence. As I reflect on my own life, I can see the profound impact that silence has had on my spiritual journey. There were times when I, like the king, was overwhelmed by the noise in my mind, whether it was the expectations of others, my own self-doubt, or the constant chatter of modern life. In these moments, I found that simply sitting in silence, away from distractions, allowed me to reconnect with my deeper self. One of the most valuable lessons I have learned is that silence is not just about avoiding words, it's about listening. Listening to your inner voice, to the subtle messages your heart is sending you, and to the wisdom that resides in the quietest corners of your being. In silence, we can hear the truth that words often obscure. Silence in relationships, the gift of listening. Another lesson I have come to appreciate is the power of silence in relationships. Often, we speak to fill the gaps, to avoid uncomfortable silences, or to assert our opinions. But when we learn to embrace silence in our interactions with others, we open the door to deeper understanding. Silence allows us to listen, to really hear what the other person is saying, beyond their words. It fosters empathy, connection, and love. In my own relationships, I've found that some of the most meaningful moments come not from speaking, but from simply being present, in silence, with the people I care about. Silence allows for a deeper, more genuine connection. Embrace silence. Embrace peace. As we come to the end of this story and reflection on the power of silence, I encourage you to take a moment today to embrace silence in your life. Spend a few minutes in stillness, free from distractions. Let your thoughts settle, and just listen. You may be surprised at the peace and clarity that emerges. Remember, silence is not a void. It is a space for reflection, growth, and connection. In silence, you can find the answers you seek, and ultimately, the peace you desire. So, I invite you to make silence a part of your daily practice. The stillness you cultivate will lead you to the deepest truths about yourself, and open the doors to lasting peace. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts and any experiences you have had with the power of silence. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom from the Buddhist path.